Forage. It is published by Sideroom Games and Gigamech Games, and is the third in the Mark Tuck trilogy of the trilogy of these little solitaire 9-card games that he's created. The first was Orchard, and then Grove, and now Forage. All of the games are essentially a splaying, stacking game where you are having different cards, where you are trying to match symbols, types, and that allows you to add dice on top of a card. When you do this multiple times, the dice value increases if I can get the same color over and over again, and that's one of your stacking rules. The other is in this game, if you stack something incorrectly, you break a rule, you end up adding these negative points, which are these little mice that are stealing the food in this game. So a lot of similarities between Orchard, Grove, and this. They all have their own little unique flavor.
Yeah, and I'd say that the theming between them is essentially just it's growing different.
The first game was apples and pears and something else. I can't remember. But you have your orchard maybe.
Or lemons.
No, that lemons and oranges and limes is the Grove.
That's great.
That one I know. I play that one a lot more. So essentially this one you're just foraging through your forest for berries, nuts, and mushrooms.
Yep.
And avoiding these mice that are stealing the food from you, including this rather large, king mouse here. I think his name is Edwood Mouse,
I believe.
And that is Forage as far as like the puzzle. It's a stacking game. So if you played things like Wrapup, other stacking games like that, that's essentially what you're doing. Agrapolis, the Naturopolis.
Yep. Appleize
from Bunchai. So that's essentially how the game works. You're gonna. It's actually 18 cards that come with the game. You're gonna shuffle them and draw basically a starting deck of 9 cards. You put the other 9 away to set yourself up for a second game immediately. That's right.
I do like that. It adds some variety to each game, and it does let you reset really quickly with base rules.
Right, correct. And if you want to play it 2-player, you just need 2 copies of the game, and you both just do, and you add up your score. This, from a gameplay side, it is a nice meditative kind of like a solo game with coffee, kind of on a weekend type game.
When this review copy came in, I immediately cracked it open, and that night I played it about 10.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just one after the other. I wanted to get a good feel for it, first of all, and second of all, I wasn't tired, and it was mid.
Yeah, it's one of those kind of like nice, like everyone's left game night, but you don't feel like going to bed yet.
Yep.
Or for me, it's like I do a lot of solo games like Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, and it's definitely that kind of a get you into the flow of it. A lot of table space either, so it's easy to play anywhere.
Yeah. In fact, if it is taking up a lot of table space, you are playing. Because or you're just scoring really low, I would say.
It is a beat your own score game like the others, and this one, similar to Grove, has recipes. So you, in addition to those 9 cards, you would take from the remaining cards and play some recipes above the space, and you can use those to get additional points by completing certain objectives above.
Yeah, and they do give you a target score to reach. I prefer playing it with the recipes because that way I am not just beating my own score. I have a target number in mind. It's
pass-fail at that point.
Exactly.
And I need a little bit of that in my solo games if it's just beat my score. Like I don't mind having a sheet that says here's the score range and where you landed, but I like to have an objective. That helps me.
Absolutely.
From an accessibility side, the rules are very simple to understand and follow.
Yeah.
The only thing that tripped me up a little bit at first, and I had to just read it like 2 or 3 times, was this game, like Grove, has 1 space of the 6 spaces on card that is there as a split terrain, effectively. That means that it functions for either, so it can be stacked on top of either color. So this one would be leaves or basically nuts or mushrooms, and vice versa. You could also place this one on top of it. The only thing is this does not count as having any food on it,
so it will not increase your die.
Right. It just allows you to place more creatively.
Yeah,
gives you more options. as well as being creative with scoring on this one. That's what the mice really do as well. Yes, it's a -2 for the space, but allows you to place other things. So if it's I'm getting 6 points, losing 2, at least it's a 4-point swing for me.
Yeah, and my first couple of playthroughs, I was very risk averse. I never played anything that was mice out on the board, and I realized very quickly that
that's kind of the point. Yeah, you need to have a little bit of that tug of war in this game, where you're.
In fact, he pretty much makes it.
Yeah, and he basically, if you can't place any other die from that group, if you're out of green dice mice, you would place him instead.
Yeah, or if there is a mouse die down and you want to place on top of it, you replace the mouse die.
And he's -5 points. So again, it's that swing. Like, is it worth it to place this for the swing of points? Right. Or sometimes it's to get certain combinations out as well. Like, you might need to take a -2 because that'll get you all the blue dice out.
Yep.
And this card here is a ×2 for your blackberry dice. So these ones over here.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with the dice colors sometimes with the matching up for mine, but that was one of my few things. But we've kind of talked about gameplay and accessibility already. The rule book is simple enough.
Yep.
Design of the game, I have to say, Sideroom Games, Gigamech, who does these PVC cards are fantastic.
Yep.
These are always great for this. I wish some of the button shies almost had PVC cards, because this is just these will outlive us all.
These are my favorite. These are my favorite cards to shuffle.
Yeah,
they riffle shuffle so beautifully.
Yeah,
slide them together. It's great.
Yeah, these are just they're especially for a game that I can get kind of kind of meditative as you're just like shuffling and thinking. I mean, over shuffling it before you start turning, just because it's that much fun to shuffle.
Yep.
Big fan of these. I like the dice. I wasn't thrilled with some of the color choices because it was just throwing me a little bit. Remembering like what is what. Like, the mushrooms are easy, brown and beige. I'm like, I get it, that's mushrooms. This is chestnut, and I kept throwing me off because there was so much orange on the card. I know I'm being picky, but this is a review.
Didn't bother me at all. The green goes on the green square, the brown goes on the brown square, the yellow goes on the yellowish square.
I guess I'm just color sensitive. It feels so foreign. But again, it's a minor thing. It doesn't really have a dramatic effect on the game, but stuck out for me. The quality, there's not much here.
Yeah.
Not to say there's not much quality. There's a lot of quality here. There's just not a lot to talk about. But these are excellent tuck boxes. These are fantastic. Very, very high quality, just like the two previous games. The dice are great. The cards are great.
Yeah, definitely a high quality here. It's just everything care was taken with it, and it shows.
Value on the game, it's going to be in the same range of the other games, so about a $20 game.
Yep.
I don't know what the Kickstarter price is going to be on this, because this game will be coming to crowdfunding.
Yeah,
and
fairly soon.
And I do believe they're going to, and my temptation on it is, I think they're going to be making some sort of like little box to hold all three games. So that sounds interesting for me, just from a aesthetic standpoint. I'm not sure what those prices will be. We're not aware of those yet, but I would imagine it's going to be.
Yeah, I'll toss a link to the Kickstarter. Yeah. It's the preview page is up already, so I'll have that in there right now. In fact, the page is up by the time this gets up.
Yeah. So it's again, one of these type of games, great for conventions, travel. It's a small game if you are a gamer on the go. The value is definitely going to be there. I've played Orchard and Grove probably hundreds of times.
Yeah.
So if you like those games, it's interesting addition to the set, and I think it's going to be a good value for you. So as far as our scores on it, right now I'm at a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good game, pretty good. I liked it. It didn't change anything drastically in the series, so I'd have to play it more and more to see where I land with all three. I still think Grove is my favorite in the trilogy. And it's always hard with a game like this when you're scoring it against as like similar siblings, in the series. So that one's kind of maybe I just like citrus fruit more too. It's more my thing than picking up forest mushrooms.
Yeah.
But so
I'm going to sit at about a 7.5 on it. I really liked it. I like the flexibility in terms of the two different colors on there. It lets me kind of manipulate that a bit more. I've played Orchard a decent amount. I got the print and play version of that, so I played that when we were at PAX last year quite a bit. Yeah, so I think it's a solid game. I think it's Scott said, it's a great travel game. It's something that gets tossed in, and I like the production version better than the print, just because this is a game that I can toss in my bag and I'm not going to be worried.
Oh yeah, these things are again. I think they did the same, it's almost exact same box type, but maybe a slightly different size for Northwood.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love the quality of these so if you played that game as well, it's the same type of box.
Yep.
It will last a long time. The cards aren't going to get messed up. You can bring it to the beach almost, because all these components are not going to get messed up by a little bit of brine on your fingers.
Yep.
So big fans of it. I thought it was a lot of fun of the game. We'll post the link, as Rob said, to check out the campaign. If you have any other questions related to the game, go ahead and leave those below. If you like this video, we'd love if you'd like and subscribe. With that, we wish you good luck with all of your future board game adventures.
Thank you for joining us on ours.